Week 32 ELA W, and we're back to working on our narratives. Today we want to stretch our ideas. I know that most of us are probably a bit tired from the math state exam that we took earlier today, which is why you get to draw to begin this lesson. So you see the warm-up said to draw the most important character in your narrative other than yourself. As you see in my narrative, I have drawn Travis Armour. I gave him a baseball and a baseball mitt and a flat bill hat. He always wore that. He was an athlete, and he was my bully. Now, turn to the next page. Someone read today's aim. We will be able to describe the external traits of the characters in our narratives. So, in my story, Travis, the bully, he had a darker skin complexion, almost olive, almost Mediterranean. He was about 5'9", which was tall for the 9th grade. He had an athletic build, so like these big shoulders and big strong legs. He looked like an athlete, looked like a baseball player, and he carried himself that way when he walked. It was smooth and almost perfect, the way that he nimbly ambled through the halls. I'm trying to speak like I would like to write. His weight was 160, but he carried it well, meaning he was not a plump 160. He was a strong 160 because he lifted weights, something that many 14-year-olds were not doing at the time. His eyes were majestic blue, and in contrast with his darker skin tone, the eyes shone so bright. He was considered attractive by the ladies in the grade, not just in 9th grade, but even some of the sophomore girls found him appealing. And his voice had a southern drawl, but full of energy, so it was twangy, but charismatic. Now, who can picture Travis Armour in their head? Come, should have gotten something. Oh, he had a short brown hair. But it was always covered by a baseball cap. This sort of exposition is what we're going to begin working on today. You have characters in your story that you'll be using to create conflict. Most of you, raise your hand if you are the main character of your story. Yeah, I was in mine. And so you'll do some exposition writing about yourself, certainly, what you're going through. And the author is the reader is probably going to not have to try very hard to really know who you are in the story. Hopefully, you're going to write with enough detail to cover that point. But we also really need to know the villain of your story or the villains of your story. We need to know what motivates them. We need to be able to see them. As I keep saying, we're creating a world that the reader needs to be able to jump into and really feel like they can see everything. So turn to page 4, which gives you some external trait words. Let's have somebody read the weight words, somebody read the voice words, somebody read the age words, somebody read the skin tone words, somebody read the hair words, the height words, and the attractiveness words. Go ahead, begin with weight. And we go through some, think about making a choice there. And hey, for a lot of us, either we don't remember what this person's weight was really like. Were they slim or were they slender? I guess those mean pretty much the same thing. But you can make a decision to, first of all, if you want to change somebody, you can change them. If you're like, I'm kind of embarrassed about getting bullied by that 4'6" person, just make them a little taller, make them a little more intimidating, make them a little scary, because that actually works to turn up the drama of the story. And then what's probably more likely the case is that some of us are trying to recall a story that happened in 3rd grade and we just don't remember all of the characters very well. So some of your characters, you may need to give them a husky voice, even though you don't really remember them having a husky voice. Most of your characters are going to be of adolescent age, and so our task is going to be thinking of making choices for each of our characters here from this list, and then writing in paragraph form to pretty easily explain this, because look, it's not going to read very well for you to say, the boy was muscular, his voice was low, his age was childlike, his skin tone was beige. So, you can make compound sentences using and or so, those compound sentences we've worked on all year using our fanboys conjunctions. But that's what we're working on today. Turn to page 5 and start thinking of your first character.